The Black Myth of Wukong will be released next year. Before that, I will interpret the original Journey to the West for everyone, enabling you to better understand the story itself before playing the game and enhancing your experience within it. The reason Journey to the West has endured as one of China's 4 great classical novels for centuries isn't just due to its captivating storyline. The profound meanings behind the story also intrigue people. It delves not only into human relationships, but also allegorizes the operational rules of feudal society. In fact, within this world, there exists a meticulous logic governing its operations. The author Wu Cheng'en experienced the entire Ming dynasty under the Jiajing reign. During his time creating Journey to the West, the Ming dynasty's social class conflicts, ethnic disparities, and internal conflicts within the ruling class were intensifying. Wu Cheng'en, through his novel, utilized his fantastical world to magically replicate the real-life social conflicts. In the original text of Journey to the West, poetry occupies a significant portion. Quoting dialogues and poems from the original text is an important way to understand its depth, because the author encoded many implicit meanings within them. In this video, I'll delve into how the Tathagata Buddha strategically orchestrated the mission of Tang Taizong's journey to the West. Of course, this is just fiction. Any references to religion in the video content are purely fictional and have no connection to the real world. So, let's get started. In this book's depiction of the Western paradise, the original text goes on to describe, "Every day flowers bloom, fruit is always ripe. With endless flowers and fruits that one cannot finish eating." The relationship between Buddhas and sentient beings is, black apes are always offering fruit, deer hold flowers in their mouths, blue phoenixes dance, colored birds call. The entire world of Mount Sumeru operates around the needs of the Buddhas. With such an abundance of inexhaustible resources, mists follow them as they come and go. Untouched by heat or cold, they do not notice the years. Here, transportation is convenient, unaffected by seasons, and Buddhas live carefree lives, unaware of the passage of time. So, living in this dreamlike Mount Sumeru, why did the Tathagata suddenly decree for Guanyin to search for the pilgrim? It all begins with a banquet of the Buddhas. Since the Tathagata trapped Sun Wukong under the 5 Elements mountain, many years passed unnoticed. One day, the Tathagata Buddhas held a banquet at Mount Sumeru. The compassionate Tathagata, with a benevolent expression, inquired, "As today is a fine early autumn day, and I have a precious bowl filled with 100 kinds of rare flowers and 1,000 varieties of exotic fruit, what would you say to our having an Ulambana feast?" Every Buddha, Bodhisattva, and Arhat present understood implicitly and expressed gratitude to the Tathagata Buddha. It's worth noting that this grand Ulambana feast, hosted by the Tathagata Buddha, coincides with China's Taoist Zhongyuan festival, commonly referred to as the Ghost Festival among locals. This day is when mortals offer sacrifices to their ancestors and appease spirits. Yet, for the Buddhas, it's a day of indulgence in lavish banquets. So, was the grand gathering of the Buddhas solely for dining? Certainly not. In order to repay the great kindness and grace of the Tathagata, the multitude of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas offered poems to praise this banquet as life as long as sun and moon, life that will outlast both mountains and seas. I believe this to be the true purpose of this banquet. After Buddhas and Bodhisattvas had their fill on this day of the Zhongyuan festival, their spirits were greatly uplifted. When the Guanyin Bodhisattva requested the Tathagata Buddha to deliver a speech, the Tathagata Buddha said, "I have observed that the morality of the living creatures of the 4 continents varies. In the eastern continent of superior body, they worship heaven and earth. Their minds are livery, and they are even-tempered. In the northern Kuru continent, they are given to killing living things, but they only do it to feed themselves. They are stupid and lazy by nature, but they do not trample much on others. Our western continent of cattle gift has people who neither covet nor kill. They nourish the vital essence and submerge the spirit. And although they produce no saints of the highest order, They all live to a ripe old age. But in the southern Jambu continent, they are greedy and lecherous and delight in the sufferings of others. They go in for a great deal of killing and quarreling. That continent can with truth be called a vicious field of tongues and mouths, an evil sea of disputation. I now have 3 stores of true scriptures with which they can be persuaded to be good. Whether the Tathagata was feigning ignorance knowingly or not is unclear, but the opening of the original Journey to the West distinctly states, "The Eastern continent, known for the demon of confusion and 72 cave kings of demons, is notorious for their merciless killings and tormenting of living beings." The Tathagata Buddha surprisingly regards they worship heaven and earth. Their minds are livery and they are even-tempered. The Western continent is the main battleground in the Journey to the West story, where various creatures with different backgrounds gather, some being ruthless monsters. Surprisingly, the Tathagata Buddha regards this place as neither coveting nor killing. The northern Kuru continent is mentioned sparingly, and for now we won't discuss it. The southern Jambu continent, regarded by the Tathagata Buddha as a place of greedy and lecherous and delight in the sufferings of others, is described by the author as a world of great peace. Tribute was being sent in from the 8 directions, and all within the 4 seas acknowledged themselves as subjects. From this, it's evident that the Tathagata Buddha's definition of good and evil clearly differs from that of the author. However, the Tathagata Buddha's desire to save the beings in the southern Jambu continent is undoubtedly urgent. The Tathagata Buddha perceives the inhabitants of the Tang dynasty in the southern Jambu continent as, "It is intolerable that the beings of that quarter should all be such stupid wretches who slander and defame the true word, do not understand the gist of my law, and have lapsed from the orthodox Yogacara sect." Therefore, a highly skilled envoy must journey to the eastern land of Great Tang in search of the chosen pilgrim. Everyone knows that the Tathagata Buddha's compassion is not unfounded, his missions not arbitrary. At this moment, Guanyin, the Bodhisattva of great compassion, made a decree. The description of the Guanyin Bodhisattva's appearance goes as follows: eyebrows like crescent moons, eyes like a pair of stars, a jade face full of heavenly happiness, scarlet lips making a touch of red. Her pure bottle of sweet dew is ever full. The willow twigs in it are always green. From this, it's evident that the author emphasizes the longevity of the Guanyin Bodhisattva. Upon witnessing the Guanyin Bodhisattva volunteering, the Tathagata Buddha naturally felt delighted and granted the Bodhisattva 5 sacred artifacts: the Kasaya robe, staff, and 3 band-tightening spells: golden headband, tight headband, restraining headband. The Tathagata Buddha said, "These Kasaya robe and alms bowl must be personally worn and held by the pilgrim, because if he is determined to come here, he can avoid the wheel of reincarnation by wearing this cassock, and he will be free from evil if he carries this staff. If you meet any devils with great magic powers on your journey, you should persuade them to reform and become the disciples of the pilgrim who will come to fetch the scriptures. If they do not do as they are told, these bands should be put on their heads, where they will of themselves take root in the flesh. If the appropriate spell for each one is recited, their eyes will bulge, his head will ache, and his forehead will split open. He will thus be certainly induced to adopt our religion. It's truly an excellent method to persuade demons towards goodness, indeed showcasing the boundless compassion of Tathagata Buddha. So, did the Guanyin Bodhisattva encounter success in seeking the pilgrim for the scriptures? If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to my channel. I will release the next episode as soon as possible to explain the story of the original Journey to the West.